Sugarcane is a character-driven film about the abuse and missing children at a residential school in British Columbia, Canada. The residential schools were set up between the Catholic Church and the Canadian government to forcibly remove children from the tribe and assimilate them to get the Indian out of them. Kids were being physically abused, they were being sexually abused, and a number of them started disappearing. My name is Christopher LaMarca. I'm the director of photography on Sugarcane. The work that I personally love to do most is in this immersive style of verite filmmaking. When I bought the C500 Mark II, I bought it with the EU expansion unit V2 specifically for the type of filmmaker that I am, which is oftentimes running my own sounds without a dedicated sound person. It's important that the camera becomes invisible, and it's important that you don't have extra people around, because just another presence of a body in the room in this type of situation with this type of sensitive matter, people aren't going to open up as much. The first day of production, we met up at Sugarcane. That's the name of the reservation. It's a co-directing team, Julian Brave Noisecat and Emily Cassie. At first I was like, I think we should shoot on a 35 and a 50. Emily came from a video journalism world. She had never shot on a prime lens before. As she started to see some of the imagery that was coming out that was shot on the Canon primes, she was like, I feel the difference. I feel the connection. I feel the difference of the emotionality. She began to get inspired and she moved to shooting primes. This is a national news story, and I think oftentimes these national news stories can become issue films that are told in a very didactic way. This is not an interview-driven film. This isn't a situation where people are just sitting down and talking about these horrific things from the past, hitting cut and then moving on. The viewer becomes a part of this healing process. That's the essence of the film. One of the biggest selling points for me with all the Canon gear was the durability. On this last project with the C500 Mark II, we were shooting up in northern Canada where the weather is incredibly hostile. I have been through every type of different terrain with that camera. I have dropped it, it has rolled down hillsides. Again, shooting in these immersive style type ways, there's no redos. There's no like, cut, let's do this again. So having a piece of gear this reliable and support services around it to make sure that every time I go into the field that the camera is working at top notch is a huge gift. The power of filmmaking for me is the most impactful way to push someone outside of their comfort boundaries without telling them how to feel. And I believe in that immensely. And the beauty of story, and again, told this way specifically, which is very immersive, which is not about telling someone how to feel, but is inviting them into a world that they wouldn't necessarily enter on their own. And to me, when we can enter situations through our heart and not through our head, that's when real change happens.